approve the agenda as amended?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Renee, just come up, bring a chair, and sit to that table, and
You skipped a couple things.
I'll do that after. I just wanted to get her in.
Perfect. Do I have to touch anything? Is it good?
No, it's good.
Perfect. So hi, I am Renee LeBlanc, and as Linda graciously mentioned, I am with the Nova Scotia Health Authority, and so I work as a health promoter with public health, and so I'm very new. I just finished my master's at Dal, and so I am kind of just learning about the communities that we work with, and that involves the decision makers such as you. And so what I'm really here tonight for is just to observe, see what you guys talk about. I've been reading all the lovely minutes that you post for the last year. So I've been doing my reading. Yeah. And that includes all of the 11 municipal units from Digby, Yarmouth, and Shelburne counties. And so I guess the goal for my position would be to build relationships with you. The ideal goal being that you feel comfortable saying, hey, Renee from Public Health, this is a health issue. I'm wondering if you can give me the evidence on that. Or and so we have this two-way street where I can present ideas and you can come to me if there's some kind of health topic on the table. So that's me.
So, any questions? Jimmy?
Are you going to be dealing with health promotion as well?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Because I think we heard last week that it's important to keep people healthy.
Exactly.
And keep the burden off the health system. So.
Absolutely. That is the key. That's absolutely what I believe in personally, and from my position, that's the absolute position that we take.
All right.
That upstream approach, thinking about the broader determinants of health and how that impacts health. Absolutely.
Okay, thanks.
Someone that you need to meet in our area is Kara Sunderland.
All right.
Sunderland. And the only number I know for the arena is 245-5006. Do we have another one? 4344 is direct. And she is our healthy
active living
coordinator. I never get it right. I always want to say healthy first. And she's been working with our healthy eating policy that we have in our municipality.
Yes, that's great.
Plus, she does works with the seniors, works with the youth, that's what she's active with everything and everybody. So it would be someone that you should need to meet. Anyone else have any comments or? Okay, you can.
Just a question.
Linda?
Like, what type of health, I guess, public health issues could you, give us an example of
Sure.
where you would see the relationship being?
Absolutely. So right now, smoking. So
Okay.
smoke-free outdoor spaces is something that we're working on. That's okay. This isn't about personal judgment. This is about the broader community.
Lots of that already.
So alcohol as well. So municipality putting on events, perhaps, that alcohol piece, is that allowed? How does that work if children are, that kind of idea? So the healthy eating is one of the other natural ones. So those are the top ones that I can.
Budget?
I am not a decision maker. I'm not.
What are those sports and things like that?
Yeah, as physical activity, active transportation is another one.
You can't get no money from you if I have a plan.
Not for me.
Check.
No.
You don't need me? Come on.
We have one counselor missing tonight, Martha Adams. But just feel free to sit there.
Yeah,
We're not going to allow you to speak again.
that's perfect.
This was at the end of the night, though, after we've finished if you have any questions on what we've discussed, you're allowed to ask at that time.
Okay.
But you can have your notebook, listen. I'm charging $100,000 to do the presentation today.
Don't quit your day job there. Stand up. Stand up. It's not a future for you.
Well, it might work. Okay. What I did not do was pause to seek guidance. Could we all bow our heads? Okay. The next thing I'd like to do, there's no dangerous and unsightly premises listed. So the next would be approval of the minutes of September the 14th, 2015. Is there any errors or omissions?
I'll move the minutes of September 14th.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Old business or business arising from those minutes? Hearing none, we will go to new business then.
The world's going on, we're halfway through. This should be like 7:30 now.
Shh. Silver Angels Senior Society Facility for Social Club. Now, that came in asking if we knew of any place. I'm just going to, oh, there it is up there. They're asking if,
Jimmy brought it to the
Yeah.
table too.
I was going to say, they're asking if we knew of any place and that type of thing. I had been in when they first started to close, and I was surprised it didn't come from their chair, this letter. Yeah, that's what I'm going to ask you in a minute, because from what the chair said and what this letter says is way different. Okay, Jimmy.
Norm and a lady came out to see me about wanting to find a place to go, and all. I said, listen, you have to put it in writing, and if you want to bring it to me, I'll bring it so it can go before council. But I said, there's nothing else we can do for you right at that stage. But his concern with the chair was that the chair was just doing things on his own without the board's approval, and he was basically they were getting moved out of the building they were in. And I'm only going by what he had to say. I'm not going by fact. I can't prove it because I wasn't there. But he said the guy was selling off some of the stuff that was in there.
It's all gone.
But the board, from what Norm's saying, the board didn't approve to sell the stuff. I mean, they wanted that stuff. They wanted the clubhouse or whatever. And this guy just, it's all gone. They had gotten grant money to buy some of that stuff. And so where'd it go?
Well, I can tell you that the fridge, they had just bought it and hadn't paid a payment on it, and Wilson's took it back. I don't know if there was a charge or whatever, but that went back to Wilson's.
But I don't understand, I didn't get involved in a conversation with him in regards to the dynamics of the club or anything. He was basically quite upset. They're being moved out of the property. They use it on a fairly regular basis and wanted to know if there was anything the municipality could do. And I said, put it in writing and I'll bring it before council. Basically, I know.
Does anybody know of a facility that might be available to them? They're saying anywhere's on the bus route.
I'm not aware of anything. I think they were probably looking for something in the Digby area, and I'm not aware of another property. But and in the town, there could be vacant buildings that I'm not aware of. But but out in the municipality, I'm not aware of anything. Not at this time.
Yeah, I didn't know either. I mean, I was under the impression when I was in talking to them about the closing that they were selling. Now, I could be wrong because I haven't seen them since it first started, but I know about the fridge because they told me about the fridge.
Well, actually, I told the gentleman if you really feel that things are being done wrong, and your only recourse may be to go to the RCMP and talk to them about it.
But there was a bunch of board members there the day I was there.
Yeah, and this could be one disgruntled board member. I don't know, but there was two of them that came out to see me. So
the day I was there, I was introduced.
Right.
And they said,
did they say what their plans are?
well,
They're just disbanding.
they're disbanding because there's no money. No place to go, no place.
Okay, the next question would be, if there's no money then, and if it's a non-profit society, what did they do with the funds they received from the stuff they sold?
Well, they were just in the process of selling stuff when I was there.
Right.
I assumed to pay off the rent and stuff. Because they were saying they were having a hard time meeting the
Could
rent.
be, but in regards
But
to...
I don't know what they did. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, but in regards to this letter, I think maybe the main thing was, is do we have any property or any place that they could go? And I don't know of anything. I've thought about it, and I think all we have to do is just write them back and let them know. But I haven't heard no more from
Where
them.
the seniors used to meet, the New Horizons.
Didn't they used to meet behind where the East Link was? In that long,
Yeah,
narrow
is that gone? Is that trailer? I never looked. There was a building there.
That was in really hard shape.
Oh, okay, that's gone then.
Yeah. They used to, didn't
And then
didn't
they
the
met in the
Silver Angels
basement at
used to
one
be in
point
there?
too. Preschool used to be there too. And they did too.
Okay.
I'm thinking that's that building maybe. But I can't think of any.
Well, I do know of one building where there's probably space, but it's a private building, and they'd have to contact those people to see what they would charge them for rent, and that would be the old Venture Center building. Because I think there's rental of space in there available.
Yeah, Vanessa's
building.
Yeah, that would be the ideal to give them. That's on the bus route.
It's right, and it's close enough to town.
It's very close.
Yeah.
And they would, and you know, the heat and lights would be in there.
So that would be that would be the best place for them.
Yeah. So what? It's not called the Venture Center anymore. It's called
BP Center.
VP Center.
Okay. So Linda, can you make sure they get that
I can
information?
respond and just
Yeah.
ask if they've looked at any private, but if you say money's an issue, I'm sure the
You
VP
didn't-
Center would have a fairly significant
He
rental.
he didn't express to me what their financial condition was, so I don't know.
Is this something, too, that perhaps the Senior Safety Committee would follow up on? Maybe Dawn
Dawn
may be
Thomas?
more aware of the issues associated with this group, and maybe she may be aware of something?
She could be. I'm not sure. We haven't had a meeting. So.
I was going to say, I know that they were promoting membership so that they could meet their needs.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a nice spot. They used to play pool and
Yeah.
different things there.
Social.
Yeah, it
place
was a
for them.
social,
Where was the building?
where Sears was,
Oh, okay, yeah,
on the corner. Yeah.
I think at this stage, all we could do is write them back and say we don't have any municipal
Well,
property
but
available.
those are what we
But
can,
suggest that he go and approach them at that place and see if that they could rent space there.
yeah, that's actually a very good one. Okay. And the next was the DRHS Mariners hockey team. They're asking if we would advertise in their program. It was $50 for a business card, $100 for a half-page ad, $200 was it for the last one? And that included a
season pass or something.
one season pass. So, how do people feel about this? Jimmy?
I'd make a motion that we take out an advertisement for $100.
The half-page ad.
Right.
Okay? Is there a seconder? Then we'll discuss. Is there any discussion? David? No? Oh, I saw your hand up.
No, I just second it.
Oh, okay. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. The next, we're going to the CAO's report. And just to remind you about meetings, November the 16th is today? No, next week. Bylaw and policy, don't mind me. November the 18th at 10 o'clock is the
EADC.
DADC. Get it out right, Linda. November 23rd at 6 is council. November the 24th is the DDA meeting at 1. November the 25th is the Shared Services Committee. November the 30th is Bylaw and Policy. December the 7th, there is no meeting. December the 14th at 4:30, there's a Committee of the Whole. December the 15th is a Joint RCMP Advisory Board. And there is nothing on the 21st, 28th, or January 4th. January the 11th is Committee of the Whole. January 18th is Bylaw and Policy, and January 25th is Council. Now, there was the CAO update, and it was her recommendation that we take a serious look at the question raised by Queens at a bylaw and policy, because we didn't really finish that at our bylaw and policy the other day. And that was mentioned about the kiosk.
No, I thought we did have the discussion.
Did we
And
have a
had
full?
decided to just hold off until we get more information.
We decided to hold off till we find out what the province is doing with the tourism bureaus.
Okay, okay. I just didn't think we'd answered that question, that was why. Okay.
Well, we didn't specifically address the questions.
Not the questions,
Yeah,
but
and that's what I was,
I think we decided just to hold off until we have a better picture on what the province is doing with their strategy.
okay. The next were the departmental reports. Is there any questions or concerns from any of the reports? I would say they all have been busy.
Yeah, dogs been around, huh?
Yeah, but I meant, looking at them, Terry's, Rob's, Dan's.
I
You
have
know.
some dog related to bring up. Somebody stabbed 2 dogs on Friar Island. 2 separate dogs, they don't know who did it. Is that something can you ever report something like
You can talk to staff after the meeting.
that? Okay, just toss that.
I was going to say, wouldn't you talk to the RCMP?
I would say that sounds like a criminal issue, not or the SPCA.
All kinds of theories,
But
theories, right?
I mean, you can talk to staff after, but I would think RCMP
Yeah.
and the
it's not
SPCA.
it's not a dog control issue. Yeah, it's a criminal act.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, scary.
They're really weird.
Is there any other questions under departmental reports? Oh, this is easy.
This is crazy.
Updates from previous action items. Or anything we want to update on? Any questions?
Can I go back for a sec?
Yep.
The upcoming welcoming committee, or shared services meeting, I should say, is it possible, Linda, that you could let Jill know about that meeting?
She already does.
Okay, good.
Yeah, she's
She's coming.
yeah. I confirmed with her first before I set the meeting date.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. There is no questions or concerns. So our next thing is correspondence, information items, which there are none. Can't believe this.
How's this possible?
Capital project update. Just for
Oh, okay.
discussion, now that we've got a new federal government, and they seem to be very proactive on wanting to put monies into infrastructure,
Mhm.
I think it's important that we try to reach out to them as soon as we can, because my thought is I'm hoping that they come up with a different model than the third, because it's all well and good for the federal government to say they're going to put a third in to big projects, but if the provinces don't have the resources, then we could lose out still. So I'd like to know how that's going to unfold. So maybe we can talk to our MLA and see how he envisions this going forward.
Okay. No,
Our
MLA.
MLA.
He's talking about the province having no money. Linda, you were going to...
Just during the UNSM meeting last week, I had actually had a chat with I can't think of his name. He was from the province, not Mad. He gave a presentation at the asset management. Anyway, I had some follow-up questions about the Build Canada Fund, and that the next intake of that won't be at least until next fall.
Next fall.
Yeah. So they're trying to revamp the agreement between the province and the federal government, and one of the things that, and I had mentioned to him, and he said they had heard it from other municipal units, is the fact that we cannot use gas tax funds as our 1/3. They consider that, I mean, we used to when the Build Canada Fund first came out, but then they changed the rules. So that means that, we may have a lot of funds in the gas tax reserve, but we can't use it to pay for our third of any kind of a capital project. So that has been brought up a number of times, so they're looking at changing that. So my impression was that the province and the federal government are still, they're tweaking, I guess, the agreement between them regarding the Build Canada Fund.
If they wait till the fall of next year, they're going to miss the whole construction season.
And that was the other issue that was raised, as well as the fact that the end date was March 31st, so that doesn't give them a lot of time in terms of having work done. So you can't do a lot of the construction projects during the summer or during the winter months.
No.
So, but that's when the next intake will be. It's not until the fall. I was thinking, because this time last year, it was December that we had applied to the Build Canada Fund, and we were unsuccessful for our Shore Road project. So I had asked when the next round would be coming out, and he had indicated it would be the fall. So
Well, maybe then, now that we have a new MP, it would be nice if we could write him and ask if we could have a meeting with him so we could discuss this issue, because this is something that shouldn't wait that
I heard
long.
he was willing to meet with all councils, and that was on his itinerary.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But if we write him, it would be nice.
mhm.
Any other comments? Okay. Then, would someone like to adjourn the meeting?
That's not possible. Are you serious?
Yes. Would you
This
like,
is usually 2 hours.
Oh, Jonathan just came in.
would someone like to adjourn the meeting?
I don't know if I can. It's too strange to have that come out of my mouth at this point.
Move for adjournment.
Is there a
Nothing else
seconder?
on the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. At this
Wasting
time, was there
time.
any questions you had of us? Jonathan, is there any questions you have of us?
No, we shouldn't unpack, Jonathan.
16th, yes.
We wish they were all that short.
Yes, 4:30. Yes. And it would be in the board.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
We've got some
I'm
options.
sure we'll see you around somewhere.
So we've got 2 hours.
That
or
if you just
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
go for something.
For sure.
Okay.
what other